Hello students. So today we'll see about the final topic of our unit which we were studying currently, fluids. So today topic we'll take is flotation. Now all the topics which I have taken just before this topic, that is like buoyancy, I have taught you about Archimedes principle, about relative density, about fluid pressure, now Pascal's law, and all those they are the topics of same unit. Some students are being confused, so please don't be confused. Whatsoever this I am teaching, you can find these all things in your textbooks also. But I am taking the topics in order so that they are easy for you to understand. So you might get a topic in your book not in the order I am taking the class, but definitely these all topics are in your textbook. Or if you face any other problem regarding finding the question answers or finding anything in your textbook out, you can call me, no problem, as I always ask you to call me for any queries. So let us begin with the class today. So we will see about the flotation. Now a very common word, we all know flotation, how the things float, and now we will today see about what is the physics behind these all things. So principle of flotation: when a body is immersed in a liquid, two forces act on it. This we have studied as the first topic of our chapter. So what is the two forces are there? The weight of the body, it acts vertically downwards, okay, and weight of the body, what it has a tendency to sink the body. And a second is the upthrust. What is upthrust? Upthrust is in vertically upward direction, okay, through the center of buoyancy, which is also known as buoyant force. So also upthrust. So as in the diagram, also this diagram we have seen many times. So what are the two forces acting? The weight is acting at the center of gravity, the thrust is acting at the center of buoyancy. What will be the formula for upthrust? That is V dash d dash into g. What is V dash? The volume of the submerged part of the body. Okay, we need to only consider the submerged part. D dash is the density of the liquid. G is the acceleration due to gravity. Here if you see the formula of weight, we know the formula of weight is m into g. M can be written as volume into density into gravity. V is the volume of body. D is the density of the body. Now upthrust is maximum when the body is completely immersed. Why? Because then V dash will be maximum. V dash will be equal to V. So now on the basis of these two forces, we have got three different cases. Like if weight is greater than upthrust, if weight is more than the upthrust, in this case the body will sink. What will happen? In this case the body will sink and the apparent weight of the body will be W minus F. Okay, this will be the apparent weight of the body when it will sink. Now it is a case which is possible when the density of solid is greater than the density of liquid. The second case is weight is equal to upthrust. What happens here? Now the body will just float below the surface, as you can see in the second diagram. The body will float just below the surface. And in this case, the apparent weight of the body is 0. The density of the body is equal to the density of liquid, then only this condition arises. And the density of the body is equal to the density of liquid. And the third case is when weight is less than upthrust. Now in this case, the body will float partially below the surface of liquid. As you can see in the third diagram, the partially below the liquid surface means some body part will be outside the liquid, some inside the liquid. Now what happens in this case? The only part of the body gets submerged for which the weight of the liquid displaced become equal to the weight of the body. That part is only submerged. Now understand this. In this what happens? The value of D, that is the density of the liquid body, is less than the density of liquid. In this case will rise. In this case also the apparent weight of the body is 0. Okay. Now when weight of the body is equal to weight of the liquid displaced by the submerged part of body, that will be equal to F. Apparent weight of the floating body is 0. Already we have seen this. Now according to the principle of flotation, what the weight of the floating body is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by its submerged part of body. Now this is the principle of flotation. If you are asked to write principle of flotation, then that principle of flotation states that the weight of the floating body is equal to the weight of liquid displaced by the submerged part of the body. This is the law of principle of flotation. Now what is the relation between the submerged part and the total volume of the body? Now this is very important for your numericals. See, let us first see the formula. What it says, that it says the volume of immersed part of body upon total volume is equal to density of body upon density of liquid. This formula is very important for solving the numericals. Again I am repeating the formula. It is volume of the immersed part of body, the part of the body which is inside the liquid, upon total volume of the body will be equal to the density of the body upon density of the liquid. Now this formula we have got on the basis of principle of flotation. Why? Because for flotation weight is equal to weight of the body is equal to the weight of the submerged part of the body. So by this, putting the values VdG into Vd dash g, small v is for volume of immersed part. So just you remember in words this formula, it will be more easy, more convenient for you. Now we'll see some application of principle of flotation. There are varied application. There are many applications available in your books. Few of them I am also taking over here. Just you can go through this, read this. I know that you will understand it very well. I'll also explain some of them. See what happens. I'm explaining about the flotation of submarines. Submarine is what happened. This is a kind of boat which is capable of moving inside the water. Okay. Now, the submarine can be made to dive deep inside water. I told you that it can dive inside the water, or it can come up to the surface of the water according to the need, whatsoever need is there. Now, what happens if we want to submerge the submarine, if we want to dive the submarine inside the water, what is to be done? Its ballast tanks are filled with water. They are tanks, and if you fill the tanks, they are empty tanks. See this is the empty tanks. If you fill water from outside to this ballast tank, what will happen? The weight of the submarine will increase, and what will happen? It will start sinking. It will start diving in the water, and as much as you will fill the water, it will dive inside the water. Now, what happens when we want the submarine to come to the surface of water? We force out the water from this ballast tanks outside. Now this will require compressed air to do so. The ballast tanks are forced by compressed air, so water comes out and the density of submarine becomes lesser. Then the seawater density becomes lesser. Why? Because the mass, the weight will change. The weight of the submarine will change and it will start rising up. So it's a very simple phenomena. It will fill the water in the tanks, the submarine will dive. If you remove the water from a tank, the submarine will rise up. So this is the property of submarine, which is completely based on the principle of flotation. Now, another very important application that I am taking, this is also very useful in your numericals also, the flotation of icebergs. Now see, the density of ice is this. The density of ice is slightly less than the density of water. Okay, water it's 1 gram per centimeter cube. The density of ice is 0.917 gram per centimeter cube. Why? Because when the water freezes, its volume increases. That's why. Now, what happens? Since the density of ice is less than the density of water, it will float according to the three conditions which we have seen. So, if it will float, then what we can write the formula? Volume of immersed parts upon the total volume is equal to density of body. The body is ice upon the density of liquid. The liquid is water here. Okay. Now, where V is the submerged volume, V is the total volume. Now, the portion of ice outside the water, roughly 90% of icebergs are being inside the water, and approximately 10% is outside the water. By solving this, we can get a ratio, we can get a fraction that about 90% of the iceberg is inside the water. We cannot see the 90% part of the volume of the iceberg. Only 10% is outside the water, which you can see on the surface. Therefore, these icebergs are very much dangerous for ship, as they may collide with the ship and can cause heavy damages. All of you have seen the movie Titanic. This was the cause here. The icebergs are very dangerous for ships. Why? Because they are not visible outside. Only 10% of the part is visible. So we cannot estimate that how much huge the iceberg is, because only 10% is outside, 90% of that is inside in the water. And very important point is written over here, that when these icebergs melt, there is no change in the level of the water, because when it melts into the water, it contracts by the volume equal to the volume of ice above the surface of water. I'll tell you in a simple manner that if you take a glass of water partially filled and you drop a piece of ice cube in that, and after some time when the piece of ice will melt, the level of water will not rise. We all know that. If you don't know, then please try this at home. Take a glass of water, fill some water, put an ice cube in that and wait for some time. After some time you will see the ice cube will melt in the form of water, but there will be no rise in the level of water. When you put the ice cube in the water glass, and with the help of a pen or a marker mark the level of water, and see after some time the level of water will not rise. I have taken some more applications. You go through the applications, read them from the video. If you have any problem understanding this, you can definitely consult me. So we'll take up the numericals here. Now, what is a wooden block of volume? This is a block of the volume, floats on the surface of water with this much of its volume inside the water. So it's 100 centimeter cube, 80 centimeters inside the water. So what is outside the water? 20. Okay. Now calculate the density and the weight of the wooden block. Now weight of the wooden block will be equal to the weight of water displaced, and weight of the water displaced by only dipped part, submerged part, according to the principle of flotation. So what will the weight of the wooden block? VdG. What will the weight of the displaced part? Small v d into g. We have taken d, the density of water is 1. G and g will cancel from both the sides. The density d of the wooden block will be volume of the body immersed upon the total volume, that is 80 upon 100 as given in the question. Hence, the density of the body is 0.8 gram per centimeter. They have also asked the weight of the wooden block. The weight of the wooden block is VdG. Once you know the volume, you can definitely solve it out, no problem in doing this. So now we'll see the next question. It is the balloon filled with the helium of density this. It is filled with the helium gas, and the volume is given is 10 to the power 3 meter cube at 1000. What maximum load can it lift? What maximum load can it lift? Okay. Now the density of air is also provided. Now what is the weight of volume? The weight of the volume will be volume into density into gravity. This is volume into density into gravity. This is the weight of the balloon. What will be the upthrust? The upthrust will be the weight of the air displaced. Now how much air will be displaced? The air will be displaced by the volume of the balloon, that is volume of balloon into the density of air, because we are seeing the air displaced into gravity, that is equal to 1290 kg. Now what is the difference between the two forces? See, upthrust will act upward, the weight will act downwards. Now the difference between these two, this that is 1110 kgf, is the net upward force. It is a net upward force. So this much weight this balloon can carry easily without any problem. We have also seen that they are huge balloons and they carry a large weight up in the sky. So that is the concept here, that if that's why we fill a light gas there. We always insist on filling a gas which is of very low density. As you can see, the density of helium is 0.18 kg per meter cube, whereas the density of air is 1.29 kg per meter cube. So that is the logic behind filling a gas of less density in the balloons. Let us take two more questions. Question number 3 is very important. Okay, a wooden block floats on surface of water with 3/7 of the volume above the surface of water. Okay, now 3/7 is the volume which is above the surface, and what is the volume below the surface? It will be 1 minus 3/7. What will be the total volume? It will be 1. In fraction, you can take 1. So the submerged part of submerged volume of the wood, that will be equal to V minus 3/7V, or you can simply write 1 minus 3/7. This will also work. 1 minus 3/7. That is the volume of submerged. Why? Because this is the part above the surface. What is the part below the surface? 1 minus 3/7. That is 4/7. Now weight of the wooden block is equal to the weight of water displaced by submerged part. We know this. This is the principle of flotation. So what is the weight of wooden block? Vd into G. Weight of the water displaced, because water is displaced only by submerged part, so we will put the volume of submerged part. So you can write here 4/7. In place of V, you can write here 1 if you are using the concept of 1, or you will write V here and 4/7V into 1 into G. Now what is this 1? It is for the density of water. Now the density of the body is 43 gram per centimeter cube. I hope this is understood. Next example says that an iceberg floats on water with some part outside. We have iceberg with some part is outside. Calculate the fraction of volume of iceberg which is inside the water. Now we have been provided with the density of ice, we have been provided with the density of water. We know the formula: submerged volume upon total volume is equal to density of ice upon density of water. So density of ice we'll put here, density of water we'll put here, and we are required to find the fraction of volume which is inside, that is submerged volume. Submerged volume is 0.197th part of the volume remaining inside. Now 0.197th part of the volume will be inside the volume of iceberg, which is inside. Okay, 0.917, that will be the submerged volume of the iceberg. So these are the few numericals which we have taken on this topic. Now this topic is completely done. We will cover one more topic, and that is next unit. As I know that you have all got your syllabus. So in the syllabus I have mentioned next unit also, that is heat energy. So we'll cover that unit also, and for any queries you can contact me, and as soon as I'll complete that chapter heat, then I'll also give you a quick revision of all the topics before your first terminal exam begin. Don't worry for that. Or if you are having any difficulties in your preparations for your exam, any queries, you can contact me as per the details shown here.